What's up guys, before I get into today's video, I would really appreciate it if you guys could give me a like, and if you haven't done so already, please go down there and subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. Like bringing content to you guys. Really enjoy my content. Please like and subscribe. And without further ado, let's get into today's video. Okay guys, today I will be going and I'm gonna do some race day prep, tracking in other words. So I've already got my my actual brake pads on that I use for tracking. So if you don't know what those are, I use the Carbotech XP20s on the front now. I'm testing those pads out new. Usually I use the XP10s on the front, and on the rear I'm using the Carbotech XP10s. I have Brembos front and back. Today what I'm going to be doing is I just want to do a little bleed of my brake fluid, because I do have fairly new brake fluid in the system, and by fairly new I mean like within the last 1 month, 2 months actually. It's brand new. So I will be using my same brake bleed kit, which I have the Motive Power Bleeder. And if you haven't watched, I do a full brake flush video, and I'll link it in the video description up there somewhere. But if you want to refer to that, today I'm just going to be doing a bleed. So I'm not going to be actually filling this with brake fluid. I'm just going to be pumping it up with air. Well, I'll be connecting it to my brake fluid reservoir, but just filling it up and using it as an air to push the fluid in the system currently, just to get little bubbles out of the system. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Again, if you want a more detailed, thorough video, I have a brake fluid flush video on, which the link should be in there. So let's do this. Okay, so what I've done is I've pumped the brake bleeder up to just over 15 psi. Now I will go and start the bleed procedure, and that'll be basically the exact same order as what my brake flush video will be. So I'll do passenger rear, driver rear, passenger front, driver front, and I'm literally just going to bleed for a few seconds on each interval. So I'll do the inside first, then the outside. Okay, that's all it was. Literally 2 seconds, open, 1, 2, shut it, move on to the next one. Barely get anything out. That first one I had a little bit of air bubbles coming out into the bleeder bottle, but that's about it. When you're doing this, always make sure after you finish one brake caliper, just double check your reservoir, make sure you're not running low on any fluid. If you are, take the system off and put some fluid in. That's it. That's all I'm doing. I barely even shed some fluid in my reservoir, so now all I'm gonna do is take some brake cleaner, clean up any little drips or any little brake fluid from all the nipples, and just make sure that my calipers are cleaned off. And then I will disconnect the system, wipe everything down, put everything back in, and then that's it. This is my brake prep for my race day prep. I'll also be hooking up my vents for my brake rotor vents, and that's basically just going under here and reconnecting the hose to my vents in the fog light bezels here. And then after that, I'll be adjusting my camber. I want to run about a 2.5 degree on the front and about a 1.5 in the rear. So that's everything. Okay, I'm just gonna hit everything with brake clean. So it's gonna be hard to show you, but here's the top plates, the camber plates of the Ohlins. So right here, you'll see there's a tick right here. Come on, focus. And then there's a 0 on the plate itself. So I want to move this over to be about 2 degrees so that I can get my 2.5 degrees in the front of camber. I'll make it symmetrical on both sides. Right now, my current setup with this set at 0 is 0.4, 0.3.5 degree camber, and that's what I'll do for basically running it in the winter. So I'm going to adjust this now. Okay. So if it'll focus properly, I'm sitting at currently the 2nd dial, and that will get me hopefully to the 2.5% mark for my camber. There, maybe that's better. So I'm at the 2nd tick from the end. The 0 is at one of my front. When I was tightening, so I loosened it up, I found it very easy to grab this and lift it while pushing the camber plate back in to get my camber adjustment. It just felt a lot easier. This was neglecting to slide, and then when I was going to tighten at the end of it, when I was tightening, it was literally pulling it back towards the 0 as I was tightening, because it was walking, the screw was walking the whole plate forward. So I had to hold this in while tightening at the same time. So I'm gonna go repeat on that side. You'll see I have my brake fluid reservoir still on there. I have to disconnect that still, but this side's done. Let's go disconnect and get our So I'm sitting at about the second from the end mark on exactly both, and it's literally exact. Took some finagling. Maybe I use a different tool other than the Allen wrench next time, but it also asks to set the pressure for these to about 15 foot-pounds. So I can do that with, I will follow that up with a 15 pounds all around. Actually, I'm not going to do that right this second, but now I'm going to connect my fog bezel hoses, and then I will put all the wheels on, and then what I want to do is I will use my fancy contraption, and I'll show you guys, to measure my camber, confirm my camber number, and then we'll go from there. Okay, car's back on the ground. Now I want to show you my camber adjustment, or camber alignment tool. So this is it. This is the brand name. So basically I'll be using this. So you first off set it up, facing out, and then the two tabs facing down into the ground. You want to take the ground level first and zero the machine. I call it a machine, but then okay, so that's at 0. Now you want to turn it always to be facing the ground and facing forward, and try to line up as best as possible. So bang on, I'm at 2.5 degrees camber. Boom. That is perfect. I'll go measure the other side, make sure it's the same. But that's about it. Guys, it's so simple. So I'll end the video out here. If you hadn't already, please like, please subscribe, guys. I appreciate it a lot. I really like the support. I really like comments. Feed me some comments. Tell me what you think. Tell me what I can do better. Suggestions, whatever. Let me know in the comment section. With that, guys, please subscribe, and I'll catch you later.